All right, so welcome, gang, to another Marketing Roundtable from Spain today. So please excuse a slight drop, and I can hear a slight echo, so I do apologise if it's there. We're going to be talking about doubling your income and working half the time today. And for some of you, this would be a bit of a recap of some of the core concepts we cover at the Marketing Roundtable. If it is your first session or you're watching on the replay, then there is some key elements we see that is the reasons why I've been able to scale 2 businesses to $1 million in revenue and exited both of them. And that's because I was able to have push and pull elements. So one was the fact that I could remove myself from most of the day-to-day, if not all of it, and therefore I was not attached to the business and therefore didn't have to be sold with the business. And the second thing was that we had a consistent flow of inquiries and a scalable business model. Those 2 elements that we're going to really deep dive on today, and to give you some tools to be able to start to think about you and your business and actually what you want from it and how you can actually shape it in that way. Fantastic to see you all. As always, we'll have plenty of time for questions at the end. Is kindly doing as well, but I'm in a minute session, so let's rock and roll. Okay. So the first thing I want to talk about is the agenda, because clearly that's where we should always start. So we're going to look at 2 parts. We're going to look at the first part, which is how to double your income. And then we're going to look at how to work half the time, right? So I love this thing. It's the Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland, where she's asking, which road should I take? And the response is, well, where are you going? And she says, I don't know. And then the Cheshire Cat says, then it doesn't matter. If you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. And I love the concept behind that, because it's true. And business is so obvious. If we haven't got a plan and we don't know actually what we want from business, then any road will get there. Most people, when I ask them, they kind of have a bit of a wishy-washy, I'll go and I want to have 10 staff or whatever it is. Whenever we get anybody to book in a strategy session with me, I always ask, you know, in 12 months time, where would you like to be? And a lot of people will go, I want to have a big team, or I want to do this, or, you know, and none of it really relates to the thing that's matters, which is why we got into our business. Because if you think about why did we get into our business? Well, we want to work or have more autonomy on our ability to work, and we would like to ultimately be able to make more money from doing it. But that's most of the reasons why people do it. More time, more money, more freedom, right? So let's tackle those real elements today. So let's double your income first of all. So we're going to think out, what is the target that you want to get to? Because it might not be double, it could be 7 times more than where you are now. So we need to know what that is. And then we need to know, what do we need to sell to reach that goal? And therefore, how many leads do you need to get to be able to make that happen, right? So that's the most important bit. Now, first of all, let's hit that. What is your target? So we've got a lovely little spreadsheet for you guys today. Let me just jump out of here. Now, I do have in here, so this is the spreadsheet there, but let me show you how to get it. So this is a shortened version of the presentation today that you can use as a recap. It's a nice page. Flora, if we can make sure that we give this one out to everybody on a follow-up email afterwards, if that's okay, please. But I put it into the chat now, right? So if you click on that link, and it will take you to this page. Once you get to this page, you can see here, there's a 23-minute little recap on what we're talking about today. If you see access this Google Sheet template here, just click here. This is the Google Sheet template to work out what that income target is, right? And so if you want to create your own one of these, you just simply go File, make a copy, and then you make your copy of this, right? So that's what we want to do. I can see a few of you jumping onto this now, which is great. Now, the whole point of this is that on the left-hand side, you're listing out all the things that are personal. So a lot of people start with this, well, what does my business want to do? And you start to go, well, I want to have these staff so I can make these sales, so I do these. And actually, it's completely wrong, because it's the business is a time and income generator. It's supposed to give you more time back, it's supposed to give you more freedom back, and it's supposed to give you more income, right? And so if you can actually list out, well, what does that freedom and time give me? Well, for me, we want to have different summer holidays, like decent 2-week one, a decent winter family, you know, ski trip. We want to do some mini breaks, kids' school fees, you know, home utilities. This is my exact thing, right? And so you list all that out, and I did this exercise 4 years ago. I listed all out, and it would give me exactly what these one-off costs are. If anybody's been seeing my Instagram account or realize where I am at the moment, I've gone through this list and I've actually done them all, right? And now we are in this position where I suddenly go, well, I kind of have, because I worked it out, I could project manage the creation of this lifestyle, right? Because I didn't have it when I first put the sheet together, and now I have it, okay? And so why was I able to do this? Well, I worked out what the monthly repayments are, the annual repayments, and I did this spreadsheet, which told me that I needed 17 grand a month, right? And so that 17 grand, well, actually, how does that equate to my business? Well, through being able to understand the profit first system and the way that we extract capital for the owner, which I talk about a number of times, I'm able to work out that actually my business needs to generate minimum 34K per month, right? And so therefore my business annual target is 413,000. Now we are well over both of those figures, but we weren't when we first started off this new coaching business. I'd exited my two businesses. I'm starting from scratch, right? And so I know that those figures has given me this target, and therefore I was able to confidently go about and actually do these things, right? Because that's the first target that I really cared about, because that actually meant something to me personally. And so if you don't have a target revenue figure for your company that relates to your personal target revenue figure of a lifestyle that you would like, then you are not working in a optimized and focused for you and the things that are important to you manner. And I think it's so important in small business, because sometimes we really do not know where we're going. And so therefore any road takes there, any shiny thing will help us to get there. Whereas this is a really important piece. Now, if anybody wants to kind of know, well, how do you go and say, well, the monthly revenue needs to be this to be able to get that? Well, just quickly, if you think about how the word book Profit First, if you haven't read it, read that book. It's fantastic. It will tell you how to dissect money as it comes into your business. So 120%. Sorry, I'm using a mouse to draw this, so you have to bear with me because it's clearly not working. So if you've got VAT registered, 120% comes into your bank account every time an invoice is paid. You immediately put out into the VAT account 20%, because that's your VAT, right? 20%, right? So then that's income. So 100% true income comes in. You then create these other bank accounts in here, which one will be OPEX, which is operational expenses. And so you put 30% in there. That's the stuff for people, for ads, for all the other kind of business costs that you might have, right? Then you want to have a tax account, right? So you want to make sure you're saving for your corporation tax, right? So put 15% of there. So most people go, well, corporation tax in the UK is 19%, and it's different in other places. I get that, but it's 15% of 100%, not 19% of profit. And there's a reason for this, because this account is actually going to have an excess, and you're going to use some of that excess to pay your personal income tax. So we do get ourselves to 50% after tax, because there's no point us getting 50% before tax, and that's not going to hit our 17 grand or 13 grand or 10 grand or whatever your figure is, right? Might be 50 grand, right? So we need to be able to pay our tax before we take home 50%, right? Personal income tax, right? So that tax in there is going to do corp tax, and it's going to pay your personal income tax. We then got two other accounts. One's for profit, and we only put 5% into here, right? Because that 5% is retained profit, okay? And then the other one is the owner's comp, right? Owner's comp, and that's 50, okay? Again, apologies for all the awful writing, right? But, you know, hey, I couldn't bring my entire desk to Spain, could I? So here's how this works, right? You are able to actually look at this and go, well, if you can make a bank account only have 30% in it, and so there you spend only 30% on stuff, that means the mass expands the room that you give it. So if you're just using one bank account, or even just two bank accounts, you've got all this money in here that you can overspend on. And so I used to do that. I used to, plunder, and by the end of the month, there'd be nothing left to be able to pay me, right? Because everybody pays themselves last, which is completely the wrong way of doing it. So you get all these different ways of slicing and dicing this up to be able to then say, right, 50% is there. So if you look at this, actually 55% is the profit clearly in this business. So you'll be charged your 19% corporation tax on that. If you've got a clever accountant, you can probably use different ways of trying to remove tax-free income, etc. So really, you actually only take about 50% profit that you would show on your annual return. So that 50% clearly, if you do 19% or 50% versus 15% of 100%, the 15% of 100% is more, right? So you'll have about 7% here left over, which you then use to be able to pay your own income tax. You will also, for the keen people here, realize that you'll be taking VAT refunds on the money you spend here. So actually only about 13% of VAT is actually what you pay to the government. So another 7% comes over here. And so if you're doing 200 grand, you're now getting 28 grand excess, 7% plus 7%, to be able to put into your own owner's comp to be able to pay your personal income tax. So you are taking out about, because it's different ways of doing it, you've got to have a good accountant, you'll be taking out 50% after tax. You feel me? So when I actually look at this and do mine, I can follow this system, which means that I restrict my spending and I also look after those tax elements. And so by the end of it, we hit this £17,000 for me. And it means that the business got to do 34K, which means that, you know, my target goal for the business is 413. Cool. Right. So that allows you, that gives you, incentivizes you to be able to make more revenue for your business. Right. So now let's tackle a few of these other things. So how are we going to make that revenue? Okay. So now we know what we've got to make. How are we going to make it? Well, everybody teaches this way of doing it, right? This value ladder of services. You see all the gurus out there going, oh, you need to have a lead magnet and an initial offer and then a first tier, a second tier, a 19th tier, and you can ascend an ascension model, right? The problem is that all of these big gurus started off with selling big packages, one-to-one stuff, and then they actually built this stuff below because they had such an overwhelm of people coming to want to work with them that they actually made them downsells. And the whole kind of hocus pocus concept of having them as upsells is not true, because once someone comes on and does your initial offer or whatever it is, if they don't get solved their pain and you don't give them the right solution, or they don't have the full solution from you, they just spin off and buy something else because you're not overwhelmed with people wanting to work with you. You haven't created that demand yet. So when you start to work, we say, don't do this at all. Just do F to F. It's not face to face. What we're saying is free to flagship, right? Blow their minds with some free content, some free stuff, some awesome downloads, whatever it is, and then sell them the solution. Don't give me a tier of solutions. Don't give me a whole load of, sell them the flagship solution, the main thing. And you've got to package that up to be your best product, and you sell it one thing and you get really good at selling it, okay? And the nice thing about a flagship solution, it is normally a relatively high ticket product, because obviously your best stuff should be charged therefore. So then you can start to work out, well, how many of those things do I need to sell, right? So when we're actually thinking about that, well, if we go, say you start to do, let me just jump on a calculator. Okay. So say you want to get to what we're talking. So say that was 500 grand, right? So you want to get to 500 grand. And we think, well, how many of those things do we need to sell? Well, look, if we have a flagship solution that cost 5,000, so we divide that by 5,000, right? You're only going to need 100 clients. Okay. So you think, well, actually, how do I get to 100 clients? Well, if you can try and work a situation where you just do 2 sales a week, just 2 clients a week, 2 sales a week, you have a funnel that works like that, then you get a couple of weeks off for Christmas and you still get your 100 clients, right? 500 grand is not a big jump to go from where people are now, which might still, you might be doing a couple of sales a week, but the problem is those sales are going to be low ticket or cheap or whatever it is, or you might feel that you're making 1 sale, etc. So you need to go there. Now, some people go, how bloody hell am I going to deliver to 100 people, right? And you go, well, that's where we need to start to problem solve now, okay? So before we do that, we're going to say, how do we get those leads? Okay, so don't worry, I'm going to show you the scalable solutions to how you can actually work with 100 clients and still give a really great experience. But what we want to do is think about how do we get those leads first, okay? So we're talking about this funnel. We'll go through this all the time with the $1 Million Sprint. We talk about you need to have the power of one thing that you do in awareness. So that's one traffic source. So just don't go and dance the funky chicken on TikTok 1 minute, send loads of photographs of Instagram and saying how great my life is, and then do a load of highbrow LinkedIn stuff, right? Because it's just, you're light touching on all these platforms. If you just chose LinkedIn, for example, there is so much you can do just within LinkedIn. You can do LinkedIn events, you can do LinkedIn groups, you can do LinkedIn direct messaging, you can use LinkedIn articles, which you can then actually press a button and it simply becomes a newsletter that gets delivered out to people's emails, all within LinkedIn. That's going deep, not wide, deep. My one place that I show up is LinkedIn. Or it could be Facebook, or it could be Instagram, but it's not all of them. It's just one, because you become a superstar on one, and then everybody knows you. So your awareness becomes magnetized from that place, right? Then you need to have one thing for people to consider you, your weekly moment. We talk about this all the time. This is my weekly moment. I do this once a week. Why am I making this the only thing I am doing in Spain this week is my weekly moment? Why do you think I do that? Because I need to create a momentum-based marketing machine that doesn't just produce an event like this, but also produces some fantastic content that I can add to my YouTube channel. I can invite people can get on replay. We can have an excuse to be able to email people, and I grow my credibility, I hope, within all of your lovely eyes, that you actually see me as being someone that can be of use to you, because that's all this is. I'm not charging you for any of this. It's me just being of use to you. That's exactly the point of that consideration event. Now, at the right time, with the people that really want to go faster, who go actually, I got aware of Richard on this social media thing, LinkedIn maybe. I'm now aware of what he's doing because I come and hung out with him a bit. I like to maybe have a bit more of a tailored experience and have some conversations where Rich is going to show me 2 or 3 things on how he can grow my specific business with my specific pains, right? And so therefore you create one convert element. So for me, it's a strategy session. We do it once a week. It's a group session, small session, and we talk to people about where they want to go, how we're going to get there, what the plan is, right? For you, you might do one-to-ones. You could do 3 or 4 one-to-ones to be able to put people in. The whole point of this is you want people to convert. Let me just give you some figures around this, okay? So if you had a weekly moment, and let me just take this off. How do I do this? Do I do here? There you go. And then I go back to this. Do I do this? Can I draw? Let me draw. Yes. Okay, I can draw. Good. So the figures are 30, 20, 5. Oh, that's a 5, by the way. 5, 2. Okay. So this is what we get our clients to really focus on. You want to be able to get 30 bookings for your weekly moment. You would like to have 20 people actually attend your weekly moment. You want to get 5 strategy sessions booked each month, or sales pitches, whatever they are, discovery calls, whatever you call them. And then you want to make your 2 sales, 30, 25, 2. That will be how you can get to 100 clients per year, because you've got a 30, 25, 2. It's like a heartbeat, 30, 25, 2, 30, 25, 2, 30, 25, 2. That's what you do per week, because you do your awareness from all your one social media thing to get your 30 bookings. You then get 20 people to attend, 5 strategy sessions. And the lovely thing about it, they don't actually have to attend live as well. They could actually catch things on the replay, etc. There's loads of ways to be able to get those 20 eyeballs onto it, to be able to get those 5. It's almost inevitable once you put all the different pieces of the machine in to work, right? 30, 25, 2, okay? So that's the numbers. That's how you get up to those 100 clients, okay? So that's how. So this is just an example of Anne. Anne is got a similar model. This is part of the work that I do with my clients, to be able to draw out what their kind of funnel will be specifically for their business. You can see here she's going deep on LinkedIn. She's got her weekly educational event. She's got a follow-up email sequence to be able to get people along to it and send out invites. She's got a strategy session piece. She's got a landing page and stuff. It is a funnel that drives for Anne. Okay, cool. Right, second piece really quickly. Work half the time, right? So how do you set up your flagship so it prevents you from overworking? Because now we've got 100 clients, so we want to be able to make sure that we've got a flagship and a sales funnel that is really highly optimized for you. Okay, so if you actually think about when people try to work, 2 seconds. Let's go back to this. Then when anybody is trying to put together a funnel, a delivery system that delivers work for the people. Say you're a business coach, okay? Most people who want to be able to make a change or need to be coached need these 4 things. They're looking for leadership, they're looking for community, they're looking for personalization, they're looking for routine, right? So by giving them this, you can actually help them to be their leader, because they go, I've got this pain, I'm not sure how this works, to actually, I now see Helen as being the person that can really help me. Or I go from not really knowing anybody else that can really help me to do awesome kind of CV writing and help. I've now got Sam who can really help me to be doing that. I go from not really knowing actually how some of this stuff relates to me to, oh, you really personalized advice and you can really help me with this. And I go from sporadically trying to solve the problem to I'm now routinely solve the problem, right? So this leadership, community, personalization routine is how people make a change. And the thing that locks it all in is accountability. Accountability for showing up, accountability for a good community member, accountability to actually take action, accountability to be able to make a habit, right? Cool. So that's the thing that you need to do as a business to be able to make some change, right? So if you are selling something, instead of just being like a one-to-one person, whenever you think about someone coaching or helping or even doing stuff for people, you tend to do stuff one-to-one. And now the issue with that is you can only have 15, 16 clients and then you're overworked, okay? Whereas you want to have 100. So we say take a journey and put all your thoughts and thesis into a nice online platform, okay? So all of your ideas, concepts, notes, the stuff that you repeat yourself all the time, put into an online map. We say make this journey map where you got results to where they are now and do this little wiggly line. And that's how you go from where you are now to the result you want to give to people. And then it's maybe a 4-step process, right? That's what people buy when they buy from you. You go 1, 2, 3, 4. That's where the courses and materials in here. And so people can consume that material online. Then to be able to help to do the personalization and leadership, because this is just leadership, right? Do drop-in clinics. Do a Monday, Wednesday, Friday drop-in clinic, okay? So that's 3 hours of your delivery time, and people will come on, do some of this content, drop in, ask you some questions, do some more of this content, drop in, ask questions. You can say, hey, do this, and drop in, right? So now you're giving accountability. You're also putting 3 sessions in, that's routine, and you continue the leadership. And because they're group drop-ins, it's community as well. So you've got all 4 elements in there, okay? All 5 elements in there. Then underneath you put a VIP group, and so you can dump the recordings of the drop-in clinics in the VIP group, like a Facebook group or something, and you can also continue to answer questions in there. So it's personalization, because there's 3 of them a week. Again, that's more routine. There's leadership in there, and of course it's a community, so there's community in there. Now the piece about accountability is great, because we go, well, what's the 3 things you're going to get done this week in this community? That's the accountability. And then people say, I'm going to do this, 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 and this, right? And so now you've got accountability, community, leadership, personalization, and it's 3 hours. But the beauty is you can have 100 people into this system, and not everybody drops into everything. So you will still be able to give personalized experiences, great way of working. And if you do feel that these get a bit stretched, so say you get to 30 or 40 people turning up, then you just add 2 more in, right? So I do mine weekly, daily, Monday to Friday. I do them every single day, 1 hour drop in. That's only 5 hours delivery, but you can work with 100 clients as opposed to 5 clients, right? So that is how you have a scalable solution. Just quickly, when I have my agency, because I know there's some people that do done for you on here, the way that I optimize my time on done for you is I would have a kickoff session with the clients, and in that kickoff session I'd have a campaign manager that was sitting there. My campaign managers are recruited as 10-2 workers, so people that had kids that would come and work for me. They would do the drop off of school, pick up the school, and I would have them for 3 to 4 hours during the day. They were perfect because they were really great, also highly talented, and then could work with me, but didn't cost me an arm and a leg. So that's when I first started growing. They would be the campaign manager. They would introduce them there. Then I would book with the client in 10 weeks. I would then have someone that would come in. I would then book another meeting with the client where we'd have a review meeting. So I knew that we had these certain markers that we had to get to for delivery between here to here. And the campaign manager was responsible to working with the client to do the delivery at those markers. And then me and the client had the review meeting already booked for 10 weeks. So I trained the client that we would only see each other every 10 weeks, but my campaign manager would be seeing them once a week. And so now we have a scalable solution. The business is highly optimized to do these delivery cycles because it was one product, so it's always the same delivery. So it's easy for the campaign managers to work with them, easy for clients to understand what the deliverables are and the timescales, what it was, and also knew that there was a booking in the diary to see me again. So they weren't constantly going, oh, can we have a chat? Can we have a chat? So no problem at all. I'm going to see you in a couple of weeks. So let's wait until then and let's carry on doing the delivery bits. Right? That's how we were able to scale over $1 million in revenue with our marketing agency. Yeah, deliver it. Cool. Get that? I know I'm throwing a lot at you, but that's how I roll. Because I'm on holiday and I'm having fun. So there you go. I hope you're enjoying it. So the last thing I'm going to show you is how to now remove yourself from the actual delivery of the sales and marketing engine. So if we look at Anne here, right? So she's doing a LinkedIn outreach, LinkedIn prospecting. Well, actually, if you really think about LinkedIn outreach, LinkedIn prospecting, we can automate that. And ultimately, you can delegate that to someone else to do for you. It's easy to be able to just get people to connection requests, have conversations, invite people to your one thing, which is your weekly moment. Now, Anne only has to do this weekly moment. It takes her 45 minutes of her time. Job done, right? Then she gets her 5 strategy sessions. Do you remember 30, 25, 2? So she's got 5 hours of strategy sessions, 1 hour of educational events, and she's got her 3 hours of drop-in, right? So tell me now, can you, if you're doing 1 hour of delivery of your marketing roundtable, for example, or whatever it is, plus, let's say you're doing one-to-one strategy sessions because, it takes I do mine as group now, so I only have an extra 1 hour, but to start off with, we always say to clients, get up to 7 strategy sessions. That's the trigger point to then do a group weekly one, right? But to start off with, let's say 5, right? So now we're at 6 plus the 3 hours of her delivery equals 9. So tell me, is anybody on here that only works 18 hours a week? Well, that would be halving the amount of time that you work. I bet there's a few of you that work more than 18 hours a week on here. And so that might be even better than half. So I hope what I've shown you today is giving you a feeling of not just double your income, but what is the income target that you want? And that may be double, maybe less, but that is the important focus point for it. And then the work half the time, what is a scalable solution for you that can deliver the doubled income or more, but still only have a capped amount of time to work on. And that, my friends, is the end of the formal part of the presentation. I hope that was all right. I felt it went well. And I'm going to hand it over to you lovely people to ask questions or even just give your thoughts on how this has worked. Over to you, gang. Yes, Sam.
Thank you. Loved it. Seen it before, of course, but still loved it. It's just so useful and such a neat model. Can you just remind me, in the quadrant grid, I got the leadership, community, the personalization. What was the R?
Routine.
Routine. Talk to me about routine.
So so think about this, right? You go to the gym, and we've all done fad diets, or we've all tried to go to the gym. But if you go like 3 times in 1 week, and then next week you're like, that was tiring, and don't go again, and there's no routine. You don't make a habit of going to the gym. Whereas I've been able to block out my lunch times now, because obviously I've got free time, to be able to do a 2-hour lunch every day. Well, that's a lie. I do a 2-hour lunch on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. And so therefore I've made a routine of going to the gym at 12 o'clock on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and then still having an hour to have my lunch, to then do my first meeting or first whatever I got to do at 2 o'clock the next day. It's become a habit. It is time blocked, it's integrated. I don't ever think about it. I just know I go. And so that is now a routine for me. So when you are trying to teach someone about, I don't know, I know that you're in the space where you help people to be able to go to their next career and to be able to get new work. So if they're making a habit of looking on the job sites and sending out CVs, and they time block that in for 30 minutes a day every single day, then they make a habit of going for that change to get that result. And so if we all make a habit of trying to make a result, then it is built into our day. We don't even think about it, we just bucks in, done. So when we talk to our clients about the $1 million hour, we time block their $1 million hour at the start of what we do. So we say, right, stick your $1 million hour in. That is the hour every single day where you're going to work and be able to become a $1 million business. And so they make a habit of doing that. And we also we suggest that it should be the first hour of the day, because what's more important than making $1 million in revenue? And by the way, it doesn't have to be $1 million in revenue. It's actually, you know, if they did that diagram with us, it would be 413,000 is what they would want to be able to earning in that example. So that is what they do. So that's the figure they're going for, and that's what they do within that $1 million hour to be able to get to that figure that gives them the lifestyle, the $1 million lifestyle. I mean, look, I actually hate this whole kind of $1 million stuff, because it is a bit crap, isn't it? But you know, I'm a marketing man, so you know, I'm allowed 1 or 2 faux pas every now and again. Okay, that's one of my faux pas. But the point
it's a clear goal.
It's your. Well, I mean, it's good. It's just, it's a bit crap. But the point is, it's got to relate to you personally, and it's not just like I should be. It should be actually it's 413,062 pence. That's when you know you've thought about it, and that's what you do in that hour. It becomes habit.
All right, thank you. Very good. Thank you.
No worries. Cool. Back into the room, gang. Any questions? Thoughts, stuff that people have tried, you know, round table it a bit more. And, you know, feel free to add your thoughts in about time optimization, or routines, or, you know, sales and marketing. Go for it, Tony.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tony, go for it.
Just a really good reminder of the things that we should be doing as business owners. I think sometimes we can get so engrossed in our business that we tend to forget the basics, and that's where the businesses actually then start to fail. I just got a question. I signed up for another Zoom call. Is it later on today, or is this the one that I signed up for? Because I'm sure that the one I looked at when I signed up was for 12:30 today.
So it wouldn't be today, it's tomorrow, isn't it? So it's next Wednesday.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, let me just double check with you, because I don't have anything in today, because I just blocked it out because I'm having a day off. But let's have a look. If I've messed up, I don't think it's. I don't know. I don't think so. Hang on. I'm just looking now for you, Tony.
I think I remember it was the first one I could actually join was the 7th of September. If I remember
exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You are 100% right. So if anybody else wants to jump onto that, let me just kind of give you an example. Thank you, Tony. So to spend some time so I can actually go through your business and how this works with you, I do this strategy session. And so let me just show you this. So if you go onto my website here, now, as we say, because the next one is next week and we didn't do this week, it's getting, there's only a few spaces left on it. So do jump onto that one. See here, free strategy session here. So it's totally free. We go specifically over the different elements of your business and actually how we can help you. We do it as a small boutique group. The whole point of it is it's small because there's only about 4 or 5 people in that session, because we want to be able to draw on the different examples so we enrich the conversation, but we want to give us enough time to be able to give individualized, tailored experience. Okay, so you go into here, you book this call in here, you see it's here, oh, hello, what happened there? $1 million sprint strategy session application. And oh yeah, I click that button and go onto here. Here you go. So copy that. I'm going to dump that in the chat now. Do jump on there and book in now. Tony, I'm looking forward to seeing you next week. You see no times available in August. You click to the next one, and then you'll see September, and you've got 1 session a week, and that's the sessions you jump on. So do work into there. Trust me, there's no obligation, by the way. I will, at the end, if it's appropriate, show you what the $1 million sprint is about, right? You know me, I'm completely upfront about this. I just showed you the whole system in terms of how I work. So I will show you. If it's appropriate for you, great, fine. But the whole point of literally 80% of that session is all about looking at your goals and actually the individualized funnels. Which social media channel should you be working on? How does that whole weekly moment work for you? What would be an appropriate weekly moment for you? How does your sales strategy work? What are the elements that are going to help you to be able to build your business? I know there's people that have been on that call in here. So if anybody, you know, has been on that call and has enjoyed it, do feel free. Yeah, there you go. John's giving me some thumbs up, etc. You know, it's worth checking out. Sam's giving me thumbs up. Okay, great stuff. So do check out that call and just jump in. It's totally free. Then there's no obligation. There's no hard sell, right? So have it out. Check it out. Cool. Still got time though, gang. So back into the room. Who's got a question or want to add to the chat? Sam, go for it.
Got another one. You said that you were doing, well, I think in the standard model, you've got 3. We've got a Monday, a Wednesday, and Friday drop-in sort of clinics or sessions. If you've got, let's say, 100 people,
yeah,
you're probably not going to get 33. So I was just curious on that kind of number. What tends to happen? Because I'm sure, you know, people have lives going on, they can't always make it, and they might turn up once a week. So if you've got 100, do you expect 15 or 20, or how does it tend to work out? I was just curious what it actually looks like, because you're not going to get 300 people in your sessions, you know, across the week, of course, with everyone showing up every time.
Yeah. So if you had 100 clients, let me give $1 Million Sprint as an example. I've made it a daily drop-in clinic because we were getting over the sort of 30 mark in terms of people showing up. And there's no problem with that. Trust me, I've done great sessions where I've had a lot of value that's been put, and I've had 60, 70 people on those sessions. But we dropped it to, we extended the daily drop-in sessions. So I do 5 days of delivery per week, which is fine for me because obviously I removed those strategy sessions because I do one group session, right? So you can see how my time was kind of, you know, sales became 1 hour versus 5 hours, and then delivery became 5 hours versus 3 hours, right? There's a 3 there. So that's why I did that. Why? Because we now get about 8 to 12 people on those sessions, which is wonderful because everybody gets their questions answered, and everybody loves seeing people just ahead of them or helping people with their insights for people that are just behind them. And so there's something magical where you're masterminding those problems, right? So some people, when they first start, turn up sort of 3 or 4 sessions a week because you can go to any of them, right? But other people that are kind of in our Hall of Fame, our $1 Million Hall of Fame, they might turn up to 3 sessions a month because they'll have specific things. And when I see my Hall of Famers in there, or people that are in our gold medal race, which is people that are going over 40K per month, those 2 bands, I always make sure that they get their question. And I mean, everybody gets their question. I hang around for about 15, 20 minutes anyway after each session if I've got more questions. But the point of it is that you know when certain people are turning up to listen in and when other people are turning up because you know that they got a specific question. And so that's how we kind of help and work on those. So also note, Sam, that your whole point of your journey and the systems, you can see here where I worked with Anne, and I'm plonking on this system for her, right? So this is the piece of consultancy, which I do one-to-one with clients when they first join. We have a one-to-one session so I get to know them, and we deliver a specific campaign for them, right? So that now is the plan. It's the tailored experience.
So this is the personalization bit.
This is the personalization piece. Now from that, then what we do is we give them a dashboard, right? So the dashboard that we give them is the set of unique to-do lists for her specific campaigns. Let me just show you this. So this is our project growth management template. So this is her project. So this is someone else's, actually, is Ada and Andreas. But these are all the things that aren't in the funnel, and these are the things that are. So you can see here, this is LinkedIn prospecting. And so this is what they're doing. These are the to-do lists for LinkedIn prospecting that they are doing. And these are the deadlines of when they're working stuff and getting stuff done and when it needs to be get done. And so this is the tailored experience because we drag, say someone else wanted to recruit a salesperson, we'd drag that over and that'd be part of theirs. Or if they're working on Instagram, we'd drag that over and put all the LinkedIn. So we know how to do each one of these elements, but we only then tailor the experience through the dashboard for them. So they know exactly what to do, how to do it through these elements. So if they kind of go, well, actually, I'm not sure about this, they'll click on this and then just take them to the training. So they would just sign in. So what to do, how to do it, and then when to do it, is down to actually putting timestamps on here. So then they could go to their board and go calendar, and then they'll see their calendar view of all the elements they should be doing and who's it assigned to, because they can have their team in, they can have VAs in, they'll know exactly what they should do. So when to do it, how to do it, where, you know, why to do it. And that's it. But the other thing is, which I think I remember showing you, is there's also having a system, right? So we talk about the 13-week cycle. So these weekly moments, you don't need to make up a new weekly moment every week. You just do 13, and then your whole week has themes. This is our 13-week cycle. This is the board that I work on. This is my board. And so you can see here 1 to 13 weeks. And you can see here that we've got your double income work half times. This is week 3. God knows how many times I've done this before. Sam, you said you've already seen this, so probably, you know, you've been hanging around. And you see the emails that go out, the social media content that goes out, the different links to example Facebook posts, LinkedIn posts, exactly what to do. And the system is therefore what clients buy, right? And this is the system they get, and they then create their version of the 13-week cycle using this project management system and having this tailored experience on what exactly that looks like in terms of the funnel, right? Also in that meeting, we'll clearly be talking about the flagship product and how you, for example, Anne can actually then make sure she optimizes herself within that. So that's where you give ideas like this. This is leadership basically, but accountability and systems is what people will find valuable, because there's plenty of ideas out on the internet, isn't there?
Yeah, exactly. It's very helpful when it's all
who's going to help
together
you
into
to
a
really
system.
implement it, and actually where are you going? Exactly. Cool.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I can see Tony's got. That's all right, mate. No worries. Tony, you got a question?
Yeah. It's what is the cost for the one-to-one coaching that you do, please?
So I don't talk about costs or anything before doing a strategy session, and the reason why is that it's all, if I sold you it as a million quid, everybody goes expensive, but if I guarantee it'll make you 2 million quid, then you've got a floor. So the point being is that the strategy session will go through that, because it's different. What I do is I only sell one thing, which is my flagship product, which is the $1 Million Sprint. So the one-to-one onboarding session is part of that, but it's also wrapped up into the entire accelerator piece, because there's no point having one-to-one with me unless you can have all the tools to play with afterwards that we give to our clients. So you get the whole package as that one thing. But
so that what you've just showed us is what we probably end up getting.
It's the only thing you could get if you wanted to pay me some money, unless, you know, I mean, I suppose I'd dance the funky chicken for, you know, a few quid. But, you know.
Right. Okay. Here's a tenner. Start dancing the funky chicken.
Yeah. That's expensive for me. I'm not.
A brilliant session again, Richard. Thanks very much indeed, buddy. I'm going to have to dash now, unfortunately, because I've got another Zoom coming up. So
no worries. Well, look, guys, I'll take one last question. Cheers, Tony. Good to see you. I'll say one last question before I do, though, gang. Just remember, everything that I was talking about today becomes crystal clear. Everybody that's worked with us and all our clients getting these fantastic results have done this session. You know, I've got a very specific way I work with clients, and I spend lots of time with individuals that are interested. I'm going to jump that into the chat now. If you're watching on the replay, it's just easy. It's on my website here, free strategy session. Click the orange button and you get to this, right? Nice and simple. And the honor of the last question today goes to Julian with his hand up. Good to see you, Julian. Over to you.
Yeah, hi, Richard. Thank you very much. Really interesting stuff. You had a little sketch up with basically you can get 16 one-to-ones in and you're maxed out, right? And beneath that you had a little table broken into four columns. I completely missed what the description was of the 4 columns. I was just trying to get my head around it all.
Do you say 16 one-to-ones?
No, you said roughly you can do 16 one-to-ones before you're maxed out, right? That was just a...
Yeah, fine.
Beneath that you had a little table broken into 4 slices.
Yeah.
I didn't get to write down quick enough the 4 slices. Just trying to.
That's fine.
Before that.
So what? I know what it is. If I have to redraw it, let me just zoom all the way out, and we'll find it somewhere. My ramblings. Yeah, here we go. Right. So this bit you're talking about here.
Up right hand corner. No, next bit. To the right of the top. No, down a bit. No, well, you can't past it.
Have we got what here?
There, that bit, correct. The bit that just flashed up a bit, up. That's it.
That.
Yeah.
Okay, fine, right. So let me go with this again. Right. So when you're, what's your business, by the way, Julian?
I've accidentally discovered a way to help people get rid of stress, anxiety, and depression naturally. And through having gone through it myself, I got to the point in 2008 where I didn't want to live anymore. I'm an engineer by trade. I don't believe in drugs or chemicals or alcohol. So I had to find a natural way. Because I'm an engineer, I kept notes so I didn't regress. And in the process, I accidentally created a system other people can follow.
Perfect. So it's your ideal for this type of model, right? So the result is, because by the way, everybody buys a result. Nobody buys features, benefits. Everybody talks about this stuff, right? Nobody does. If someone works with me, they want to be able to get to $1 million in revenue, or they've heard me talk and say, actually, it's not $1 million in revenue, it's your million, and your million could be 413,000, right? So that's what people, you want to work with me, you want to buy that result from me, right? So that's the result that we're going to work on. Where you are now is you kind of got an idea of how that could work, but you're not quite sure how to structure it, right? Now there's this journey to take you from where you are now to the result, right? Which could be, a 4-step process, 3-step process, whatever it is. There's a journey to be able to do it. And so that's actually where you're now. I have a journey, Matt, and you need to create a journey, Matt, to be able to do this. If I showed you ours, perfect. Right. So if I showed you this journey map, this is our journey map, and people see this process, right? So people go through our journey. They start off in the preliminaries. They go from heat 1 to heat 2 to heat 3. 40K is our gold medal race, as I said. 84K is our Hall of Fame. This will get sent to anybody that comes on the strategy session. So, if you're looking to get this, then I'll send you all these details watching the strategy session, right? So that's our journey map. Okay, so you need a journey map like that. Now, once you can do that, then you can split that into an online program that takes people through those stages, right? So this is an online course, right? So then stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. Now, the point being is that somebody might have nailed stage 1. So when you do the personalization, you can say to them, look, don't worry about stage 1, except for this bit here. It's the last bit you've got to do, and then you're kind of done because you're already here, right? And also stage 2, don't worry about this and this, because you've kind of done those bits. So you just need to do this bit, that bit, that bit. So you can see now most online courses are like cookie cutter. They throw it at you, you just got to deal with it yourself. Whereas having a personalized onboarding experience means that you can tailor the experience through the journey based on the individuals, but you know that to take someone from being stressed to not being stressed has these different stages. You already just kind of described that to me. So you can translate that onto there. And then that's where you then start to do the drop-in clinics to be able to keep on helping people to be able to go, great, now you've done that and that, you need to go do this and this, right? And that's how you then start to keep on a continuous improvement and tailored personal experience to people through, and also it's not just you, it's also the other people in that group to say, hey, I did this and it worked really well. So then the community positively enforces the progress through the journey on top of you also telling people to do it. It's a wonderful experience. It's exactly how this model has been one of the reasons why we've done so well, because we came to the market with this hybrid experience, and everybody's winning and doing a great job using it. And so therefore, our clients are getting results for their clients, which means they get more clients and self-fulfilling prophecies now.
Superb, love it. Thank you, Richard. That's really good.
No worries, buddy. Great to see you. And on that note, I will sign off and wish you all a wonderful day. I will be drinking sangria in about an hour. And so enjoy. And I'll see you back in the UK next week at 9 o'clock, or I'll see you at a strategy session at some point too. So big love, take care, and see you on the flip side. Bye, guys. Bye. Oh, bye, Jane. Just saw you there first time. Good to see you. Bye now. Bye.